is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for being with me. This is the final lesson in our Tangled Ribbon Flower project. We may do one more video depending on what you guys tell me in comments, but this is the finished project. And if you would like to know how I did this center, then stay tuned. Okay, so one thing I want to mention up front, members, if you're in the Tireless Tangler tier, that is the highest tier, then I really need an email address from you. I would like to do a live Zoom class with you, and that way we can communicate much more freely than we could in a live stream. And so if you guys would please send me your email addresses at thetirelesstangler@gmail.com, I would appreciate it, and we will get something scheduled. And if I don't hear from you, then we're going to schedule something, and whoever shows up is going to be having an individual lesson. So there you go. All right, guys, let's see what I did in this center. All right, let's get started. So as I prepared and looked for ideas on what to do for the center of our tangled ribbon flower, I had several ideas, and one, of course, is to put a gem in there. But I really wanted the middle to be just as dynamic as each of the petals. And so I went looking for inspiration on the Zentangle Mosaic app and took a look at a lot of zendalas or mandalas and looked for inspiration. And what I finally decided to try is to do a gem on the inside of this area, but to make it smaller than the area and do a tiny bit of tangling around. So what I'm going to do is when I get over there, I'm going to pencil in a small orb. Then I'll ink that and ink an aura in on the inside of that. And this area right here, this is where I'm going to put my gem. Now, as far as the outer edge goes, make sure I've got the right pen. This is my PN and not the 01, but we'll get the same thing done here. What we're going to do is sort of treat this like, well, the tangle pattern well, only sort of a variation of that, I think. Okay. And then we're going to come from here like this, and then again taking off from this one line, and once I get on the actual project, I will be turning that and getting some better hand positions. But on each one of these, I'm just going to come out and make sort of a little dividing line, and I can put as many of these as I want to in here. It just is going to depend on what you want to do. Okay, so for examples of things that we can do now, since I don't know what your situation is, but on my project I have already inked the center line. I think in retrospect I probably should have left that in pencil and just gone around with the tangling or done this first. But anyway, this is basically what I'm going to have. Okay, now one of the things that you can do is section these off if you have a larger section, and then you can stripe and add a sparkle. Don't add a sparkle, you know, it's up to you. This will give a very dynamic look to the area around the gem okay? In this, we can probably orb this, and that will really dress it up. A faster way of doing that is inking the whole thing in with either black or brown, and then dotting little circles of jelly roll in there, and that's also a quick way to handle that, okay? Now, another thing that you can do in these sections is that you can just draw these little sort of radiating lines, but you want them to be really thin. You want them to be sort of organic looking. You want them to, you know, maybe not be as wiggly as mine, but very close together. And of course, mine like to be curly. That also is effective, and you can alternate this and this every other square if that's what you want to do. Okay. You could also take this area between these two and do something entirely different. You could tangle around it. You could put a ribbon tangle around it. I mean, there's just tons of things you can do. You know, we could even put shattuck in here in the round, you know, and do it like that. We've got a lot of ribbon tangles under our belts now, and so we've got lots of things that we can choose from. Or I can't talk and draw at the same time. It's a personal issue. We could do something very simple. Like, I don't know, striping, or of course we sort of did that over here, but we could do it in a different way. So what if we did do something like shattuck? It would be pretty small. And we'd need to remember our inner auras to make that happen. But with areas that are this close together, the drawing in of the lines is pretty short and easy to do. Okay. Like this, and do something like that all the way around. We could do something like the Zentangle pattern onomato, which is, or is that ornamato? No, it's onomato. And that involves also with aura lines and big orbs. I mean, you literally can do whatever that you want to. Now, what I've decided to do is something along this line, and I'll be using my 01, and I don't know that I'm going to stripe it. I might, but I think I'm going to start with these little tiny lines running in, and we're going to see how that turns out, okay? When you do that sort of thing in this instance, you'll have a bit of a folded quality, which gives you some fun opportunities for shading, okay? So let's get started. And hope that this doesn't turn out badly. That is always my sincere hope, that these do not turn out badly. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide, you know, where I want my gem. And of course, me being me, I'm going to put it in the middle. So I'm going to make it fairly large, like this, okay? And then I'll put the inner aura around it. So let's see if I can ink this in without making a huge mess. Hold your breath, everybody, hold your breath. Let's see if I can keep my knuckles out of the picture today. And of course, if I'm going to turn this back and forth, that's going to be a problem. Well, that was a little wobblier than I had hoped for, but it's going to be all right. Okay. I'm going to put another aura, very thin, on the inside here. I'm going to take my time and slow down. And try not to get too close to that line, which, wow, I have managed to make this an interesting shape, and that's going to be all right. All right. And I think I may ink this and dab in Jelly Roll. I think that's going to be the easiest way to handle this. Now, for the finished product, I can always come in with a gold Jelly Roll here. I could also dot and make my little dots in here with gold or silver. I just think gold will work better with this palette, but maybe not. Gold would work better with the brown anyway. All right. All right, so not perfect, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to start my curved lines taking off from this center and following the curve, and then sort of coming out and landing like this, okay? I'm going to take off from the same line and do the exact same thing. Sorry, shifting my surface each time to match the curve of the line that I'm leaving. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about how many go in here. I'm just going to set them in as nicely as I can till I don't have any room anymore. All right, so this is what I have so far. Now, I am going to attempt to, actually, before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of line weight just to the end of this. Make a little bit more dynamic look. Like this, just a hint. Okay. And that'll add a little bit of interest. All right. There we go. And that's it. Okay, now I'm going to add, let me think this through. So I could use colored pencil in here and forego the lines. Or I could put the lines in anyway and use colored pencil still. I think I'll try the lines and see how it goes, and if it's terrible, I'm stuck with it. So let's try not to be terrible here. Just gonna fill this section, these narrow little echo lines. And remember, I want to pack these pretty densely. Okay, something like this. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so as I darken these separating lines, I did that for a reason, because I really want to emphasize the sectionality of that, and it'll help me a lot when I get to shading this. Oops, don't change your strokes, Cindy. Okay. And I think I'm going to like the way this turns out once I get it shaded for sure. I've been going around about this for weeks now, what I was going to do in the center. And those Zendalas today for inspiration was just the perfect thing. The other issue I had was the fact that I had already drawn that line, and so that left me with fewer options. Okay. I'm going to look around here and see if there are any sections where I need to add an extra line. For the most part, I think I did a spectacularly good job. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my colored pencils and have some fun in here. Let's see what we can do. So the first thing I'm going to do is address the gem. And I have thought about, let me turn this back over. I have thought about what the best way to do this was. I thought about bringing back my Inktense pencils and doing a little bit of work, but this is such a tiny area that I think if I treat this with the Varathins the way we have everything else, it's going to blend with this total project pretty well. So I'm going to start with that and see what I end up with. Now, I always shade to the left, but that would be on this side. And so, but I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I can put my highlight wherever it is convenient for me. So let me get my white Prismacolor out and get started with that. And I always start my gems now. I have learned the hard way over time. I always start them with the highlight. Okay, so I'm just going to pick an area for my highlight. Now, the other reason that this is a good first step is because you can feel the Prismacolor when you're laying on the other pencils, and so you can really tell where it's supposed to be, where the highlight is supposed to be. All right, so I am going to start by blending some of these very thin colors in here, and I'm going to avoid my highlighted area. And I'm going to put them down with gentle circles. I'm barely pressing. And I'm just going to come in with the different colors that I've been using in all of these petals. And I'm just going to sort of make a mishmash out of them. And see what we end up with. This light cerulean is barely their color, so it makes a good one to run up around the highlight. And then I'm going to drop in some green because this is really going to cause this to be more vibrant. Just to have a little hint of green. Okay, and all right, so where's my Parma violet? I'm going to do this over here. At this point, I can blend these over each other. I can leave the colors pretty pure. It's really entirely up to you. Just keep going until you get something you like. I really like that true green in there. It makes this look like the Earth from space. Just a little bit. The blues and greens and purples. I need my peacock blue, but I haven't been able to put my hand on it. Now, the more layers I put in here, the harder I'm pushing, but I'm still not pushing very hard. And just like I have, I'm just going from color to color. I've sort of chosen a spot to make each color have its own area, and then I'm sort of blending them together. I got purples over here, aquamarine in the middle, and the blue on the other side, or green on the other side. It works out really well. It's a pretty vibrant color. Now, of course, as I get darker around here, I'm going to want to put my darker blue violet in. I'm going to start right around the edge, making sure I have touched this brown line. I'm just going to put a tiny bit up here, just to deepen that area a little bit. And I will still come in with my black Verithin and shadow this. Now, this is the area that needs to be in shadow, and I know I'm coloring up all my pretty colors, but I'm going to come back in over it. and sort of accentuate them a little bit more. Get a little bit of depth over here. It's actually pretty. All right, where's my tortillon? And once again, it's nice to be able to blend that a little bit with a tortillon. And then as you go, you just come back in with your colors, making sure that you have them as nice and vibrant as you want. If you want, you can use a blending solution. I have decided not to do that with these. I like the way these look. All right, when you have your colors around the way that you want them, okay, and again, I can still come back in here with the darker colors and deepen around the edges, which I most certainly will do. But one of the things I feel like that really makes these gems pop is going over the top with your white Prisma. And it just sort of gives it that glossy, finished look. And it also will push your pigments down into the paper, so it should get rid of most of the little white spots. Now, it does gray out your colors a bit, so if you want to, at this point, you can come back in and deepen those. This is a work of layers. And again, if your paper stops taking pigment, then you can always use your blending solution. Okay. Because this paper is particularly porous, you may need a lot to really get the effect that you're wanting. But all right. And just work that little gem, make it look however you want to, all right? And now for the outer sections, how do I want to handle this? I think I'm going to start dark on this, and I'm going to use my blue violet right up here where each of these sections comes out, and then I'm going to continue it right along that line where I put the line weight, okay? And then I'm going to do that in each section, dark at the tip, and then continue it down. This shade will cause this to become its own little section-y entity, and I think we'll have some fun with shading with these. So just like this, each section, deepen the color at the tip and run it along that line. There, now we're getting someplace. All right, now let's decorate. Let's use this light blue over here. We may have to switch to the aquamarine. And it's not very exciting color-wise, is it? Let's try the aquamarine over here. I like that much better. That's a much nicer blend as well. And I do want to keep a blend. Let's add some more of these in here, just for interest. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. Let's try the Parma and see how that goes. Well, I don't see why I can't have a different color on everyone. We'll see, huh? Let's think. Let's go ahead and do aquamarine back in here. I'll put another light green in. Oh, I just love the aquamarine and the blue violet together. The blend there is so pretty. But I also like this true green with those two. Oh yeah, I like this. This is gonna turn out awesome. I get lucky sometimes, guys. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Oh yeah, I love it. What do you guys think? Let us get a picture here. Let me zoom out. That's really pretty. Let me get a full-size, all the way out picture here. Wow, that looks awesome. Okay, I love the center. Now, I am going to be going through here, highlighting, shading. I've got my black Verithin that I'm going to use. Particularly, I want to put some good shading down between these elements in the center and the petals. Of course, I'll blend that out. And I'll also be going over that with the blue violet. I am considering putting in another petal right here. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see. But it's a little gappy right there, so I'm thinking about it. Okay, I love the way this turned out. I think once I add some deeper shading in here, we're going to even have a better looking thing here. So I'm kind of excited by this. I am also considering doing some extra drawing in here. For example, maybe adding some zinger. I think zinger in particular would go great with this because of how organic it is. You could also use muca tendrils coming out of here, or you could put some little bottom corner sort of dingbat sort of things that would be corner elements that come out in here. And quite frankly, I have not decided yet what I want to do for embellishing now that we have gotten this far. Leave me a comment if you would like to have one more lesson where we tackle some embellishments. Or if you would prefer to call this one closed and finish on your own, and have us go ahead and start on our next, I'm not going to call it a project, on our next series. So I need to know from you guys one way or another. I'm going to put a poll in the community tab. You can vote there. And if you can't find the community tab, then you can just leave me a comment and I will do as you guys wish on this. All right. So I will be back with further information in about 2 days. Okay. And if you guys vote for another video for finishing up here, then I will probably have a video for you in 2 days. If not, then expect to come back and learn a new tangle with me and just zen. And we're going to try that for a while and see how it goes, okay? Where we just hang out for maybe 30 minutes a day. I'm going to try to keep them shorter. I know that's not particularly what all of you want, but since the majority of you don't watch them all the way through anyway, I thought that shorter might be better. If we just work in black and white or, you know, pen and ink basically, and not get off into Zia creating for the next little while, then I think the videos can be shorter and much more zenful. And I have a series that I would like to do with you guys that is back to basics. And I think that most of you are going to like that. It's really geared towards the beginner. However, if you've been tangling for a while and haven't ever gone through the lessons in the Zentangle Primer, Volume 1, then you might want to hang out with me because that's what we're going to do. All right? So I'm going to be back with you in a couple of days. Members, I really need to hear from you if you are in the Tireless Tangler tier with emails. I have one, but I think I've got 3 or 4 in that tier, and I would like to do these at a time that everyone can attend. So please get in touch with me. All right. All right, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it today. I'll be looking for your comments and suggestions, and let me know what you think on the poll, and we will be talking very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for doing this project with me. I really like this. I think I would like to do one final finishing touch type of a video. But if you guys would rather move on, then I'm okay with that too. So I really love how this rainbow turned out today, and I'm going to see you guys soon. All right.